House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has departed to Taiwan, ending the most senior visit by a U.S. official to the island democracy in 25 years, a visit that has now escalated tensions with China. For more on this high-stakes trip, I'm joined now by former Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd. He is currently the president and CEO of the Asia Society and the author of The Avoidable War, The Dangers of a Catastrophic Conflict Between the U.S. and Xi Jinping's China. Mr. Rudd, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be with you.
So you called Speaker Pelosi's trip unwise and said that it adds fuel to the fire here, but she was outspoken there in her support for Taiwan in a series of meetings with the island's leaders. So in your view, what is the potential fallout from this trip by the House Speaker on U.S.-China relations?
I think when we analyze something like this, we've got to ask some baseline questions. The first is Taiwan's own security better as a result of this visit? I'm not so sure, because what's going to happen following this visit is the Chinese are going to now take a whole series of measures against Taiwan, economic and some military measures. Now, I think the second criteria is this: is the US-China relationship more stable as a result of this visit? I think the answer again is no. I understand why, for political reasons, Speaker Pelosi would want to go. Solidarity, human rights, and what she has stood for the bulk of her public political career. But on the core questions of national security, I think this has been unwise, and we therefore need to see what consequences will now ensue.
All right, you spoke a little bit of retaliatory measures there. China planning to undertake live fire drills close to Taiwan's shores in response. So what kind of pressure could Taiwan face in the coming days, and how should Taiwan and the U.S. respond?
Well, the People's Republic of China have already indicated through their domestic propaganda apparatus that they're going to take a whole series of economic, political, diplomatic, and I think military measures. The precise cocktail we do not know yet. But in order to meet the expectations that the Chinese leadership have made domestically within China itself, it's going to be hard line. The core question, though, for the long term is this: does this visit push us more towards the possibility of catastrophic conflict between Washington and Beijing over Taiwan in the future? I think regrettably the answer is to that yes, which is why we need to start putting in place the mechanisms to manage strategic competition between the US and China so it doesn't tripwire itself into a war that we would wish after the event never happened.
Right. Well, your book called The Avoidable War. Should this have just simply been an avoidable trip? It seems that she was determined to go. But do you think the Biden administration could have done more to press Pelosi to not make the visit, especially when there is so much, as you mentioned, global and economic uncertainty right now?
Well, the Speaker of the House is going to do whatever the Speaker of the House wants to do. So my critique here is not in terms of the administration. My critique is in terms of the national security judgment of the Speaker herself. I understand the human dimensions to this. I've studied in Taiwan as a student. I have literally hundreds of friends in Taiwan. I've visited the island on many occasions in the past. But you have to reach a judgment when you occupy a high political office as to whether that helps or hinders Taiwan's long-term security and the long-term stability of the US-China relationship. And I think the answer there is probably no. Well,
so what about this? Finally here, the war in Ukraine. China has been careful to stand by Russia without directly aiding them, but many have wondered whether Putin's invasion could provide a bit of a role model for China at some point trying to take over Taiwan. So do you share that concern? And could China even see Russia's success now in holding portions of Ukraine as perhaps a green light to try and do the same thing in Taiwan down the road?
Xi Jinping's China is determined to take back Taiwan at some stage. In fact, Xi Jinping's the political leader who said he's definitely going to do it by 2049. No previous Chinese leader has said that. Therefore, under those circumstances, I don't think China's military calculus over when to embark upon that will be shaped enormously by what's unfolded with Russia and Ukraine. They'll do a military study of lessons learned in the battlefield. They'll do a sanctions study of what happened in the economic and financial domain. But Xi Jinping will march very much to the beat of his own drum. What am I concerned about? When China feels that it's more militarily, financially and economically powerful, say by the late 20s and early 30s, to then move forward on this item, which I think he wants to bring about within his own political lifetime.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, former Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd and the author of The Avoidable War. We thank you very much.
It's good to be with you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.